every day I'm pushing myself to change. Every day I find a small thing to change. And even though it appears small, it's so much bigger than I could ever imagine. Like, for instance, a year ago, I wanted to learn Spanish. And while I was growing up, I wanted to learn Spanish, but I never stayed consistent with it. I never did it every single day. I never actually applied myself. And so one day last year, I just said, I want to learn Spanish. And since I want to learn Spanish, I want to actually do the work of learning the language of Spanish. And so every day I downloaded the Duolingo app. And when I downloaded it, I'm able to study it. I'm able to learn from it. I'm able to understand Spanish. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because you have to find a way to change yourself. You have to find a way to educate yourself. You have to find a way to develop yourself, because no one is coming to you to tell you that you should be developed. No one is coming to you to say you should learn this. No one is coming to you to say this will help you. Because until you recognize the importance of the help and the information that's there, there's going to be many times where people are just talking and it goes in one ear out the other. In boot camp, when I was in Marine Corps boot camp training, they talked to us about different things, such as finances, such as being a Marine, such as our job and getting to our designated location. They talked to us about so many different things. By the time it was time for us to get out of the Marine Corps boot camp training, I have forgot everything that I've learned when it comes to everything that the Marine Corps can offer. It was so much information crammed in a short period of time, short amount of time. And even though there was a lot of information, I can't say I remember majority of it. Whereas if I take my time learning about the Marine Corps, watching videos, learning the language, learning what it takes to be a Marine, there's a process that you have to go through, because you can only do so much from learning. Whereas you have to really step onto the yellow footprints. And when you step onto the yellow footprints, your journey has begun to become a Marine. You can't be a Marine learning about being a Marine. You have to be a Marine becoming a Marine, because as you're becoming, you're learning on the go. As you're becoming, you're learning the new information. As you're becoming, you're changing your old habits and replacing with new habits. The reason why it takes consistency to change is that you have to find a way to change within yourself. You have to find a way to change your habits. You have to find a way to change how you think about growth, because you have to be consistent with everything that you do. And I say everything because it takes effort to really focus on the things that you are dedicated to. Commitment is a challenge because you have to decide to commit to the process. Dedication is overwhelming because you have to dedicate the time to become better. And when you have time, there's an understanding that you're willing to put effort into your change, because your change comes from you understanding the amount of work that goes into this. You're not going to know everything. In all honesty, you're not going to understand everything. If you even want to be even more honest, you're not going to comprehend everything. And that's okay. You understand information when at times when it's needed to be understood. Change is something that has to be learned. Change is something that has to be studied. Change is more than just a word. It's an action. It's a belief. It's a dedicated commitment to constantly improving and getting better for yourself. How can you grow? How can you evolve if you're not consistent with the thing that you are trying to change? It's challenging, but just because it's challenging makes it even more worth it. Because if it was easy, you would have already done it. If there was no challenge, you would have already accomplished it. If there was no issue, you would have already understood that you could do it. But see, when you be consistent with change, you have to develop self-belief. You have to develop awareness that you can do it. You have to develop a belief that since it's going to be hard, I'm going to take it one day at a time. One day at a time is the goal. One meal at a time is the goal, because one day can feel like a long time. Whereas if you have 3 meals a day, and you take it meal by meal by meal, you're able to shorten the day, because you're no longer thinking about 24 hours. You're thinking about 3 meals. When you have breakfast, that's meal number 1. When you have lunch, that's meal number 2. When you have dinner, that's meal number 3. Change comes from you understanding what's changing within yourself. You can't change it the outside Moreover, you can change the inside and be more consistent with the way you approach change. Change is always inside of us. Change happens. I remember when I cut my hair down and it'd be low and it'd be at a 1. When I cut my hair, the same day my hair is growing back. Just because I have a haircut, just because I cut my hair, just because I lined my hair up, doesn't mean that this haircut is going to last a whole entire month. Just like my hair is changing, life is constantly changing. I can't stop my hair from growing, just like you can't stop life from changing you. And the reason why that's so important, because when you start to recognize how life is working, how life is evolving, how life is changing, that's when you start to look at yourself and say, how can I change so I can become different? How can I change so I can be better? How can I change so I can start accomplishing the things I like to accomplish? You see, changing takes time, because there's a lot of work that comes behind the decision. There's a lot of effort that comes behind you discovering the change. Just like a hill, just like a hike. When you go on a hike, you're walking, and as you're walking, you're going down a path. You might have a hill. You might have a place where you can walk down a hill. You might have a location where you have to turn a lot. You also might have a location on the hike where it's rocky, it's bumpy. But just because your journey is rocky, bumpy, and undetermined doesn't mean that you cannot change. Doesn't mean that you cannot evolve. Doesn't mean that as you are going along this path, you are not changing. Every step that you take is preparing you to change even more. Every process that you learn is helping you develop even more, because change comes from a decision. And when you decide to change, you have to unlearn the information that you already have to learn new information. And once you learn this new information, you have to apply it to the knowledge that you already had your entire life. Change is the most critical thing that everyone can do. Change is the most important thing that everyone should focus on. Changing is the key ingredient that will help you get to the next step. If you don't change, no one is going to help you change.